Hey y'all, I'm here to talk about a movie called E.T. and Gremlins. They're like really old movies and stuff, so yeah. And E.T. and Gremlins were one of the most famous movies of all time back in the 80s. So let's start with E.T. E.T. is a very old movie. It came out in 1982, and it's actually one of the best alien movies I ever saw in my whole life. And like, I've only saw that movie one time, and I haven't seen that movie in like forever. And I barely remember anything in that movie, barely. And all I remember that oh God, I remember there was a little boy seeing E.T. and they both scream at the same time, like a kids movie would do. and and I remember I remember that a kid was like probably doing something with a saw machine and he accidentally cut himself, and ET like somehow fully healed it with his finger. And and uh and I remember he got captured, and I think they killed him. I think it's been a very long time since I last saw that. A very long time. Do you know how long I last saw that? Alright, now we're gonna talk about Gremlins. One of my favorite movies of all time. Well, not actually my most favorite movie of all time. It's my second most favorite of all time. So, the original, there's only two Gremlin films. The third one's probably coming out like this year, I think. Gremlins came out in 1984. And it's all about a creature. It's a mogwai, and there's like 3 rules you must obey. And rule number 1. Here's the rules that they say in Gremlins. Rule number 1: don't put him in sunlight. It'll kill him. I mean, don't. No. Let me restart. All right. Don't put him in bright lights. Don't put him in sunlight, because sunlight will kill him. Rule number 2: do not get him wet or he will multiply. Rule number 3: don't feed him after midnight or they'll somehow turn into like these green monsters. And yeah, I remember that movie like pretty much a lot. It's actually a very good movie. Like it takes place in a small town, and there's like a lot of ugly little creatures after the Mogwais get fed at their midnight. Like, they turn into these creatures, these monsters, and they are so crazy. You have to watch that movie. It's one of the best movies of all time. Gremlins 2, not from the 80s, but it came out in 1990, just 1990. And it's called The New Batch, and it doesn't take place in a small city. It takes place in New York City. And it's still the same thing, but they have an actor from Star Wars inside Gremlins 2. And what was it? The Gremlins don't turn into these original creatures. They turn into green, light green, and there's like a whole different colors of them, I think. There's also a brown one, and there's also a goofy one. There's also only one goofy one. And the Mogwais, like, hold on a second. Let me check something. Alright. The creatures attack only in the building because they couldn't go outside because it was like sunlight out there. Oh, those little creatures better watch out, am I right? Anyways, they take some potions inside that in the middle of the movie, and one of them turns into a vegetable gremlin, and one of them turns into a smart gremlin, and one of them turns into a female gremlin named Greta. And there's also a bat gremlin who can who can get through sunlight, but he doesn't last too long. He just gets in, he becomes a statue and makes it a part of the church. And oh god. And there's also a witch gremlin and a phantom gremlin. And in the second one and the original one, they love eating candy, drinking beer, and playing poker. They like causing massacres and stuff. And alright, the last transformation that I remember of is the electric gremlin. He was captured in a phone line, and he was later let loose to kill his whole gremlin family, all but that gremlin creature named Greta, and she survives. I'm not gonna tell the very ending. It's how it ends, but I'm not gonna tell. You're just gonna have to watch it. And I don't have the DVD of E.T., but this is the DVD for Gremlins 1 and 2. Here it is. Also the back of it. The second one's PG. No. The original is PG. The second one's PG-13. If you're wondering why the second one's PG-13, because back then in the 70s and the 80s, nothing was just but PG. The very first PG-13 movie was called Red Dawn. It came out in 1984. It was probably after the movie Gremlins was released. Probably. So yeah. There you have it.